What's up, guys? In this video we're going to do something that was highly demanded. I get this question all the time. It's going to be an organic modeling tutorial with hard surface aspects. So we're going to use subsurf for the modeling to get the form, and then use our usual Boolean workflows to get some more details in the scene. Now, a lot of people are terrified to use subsurf with Booleans. I'm here to tell you that you can use it in any situation you want as long as you do the two correctly. Subsurf and Booleans actually work really well together, as you'll see in this tutorial. Now, before we start, I do want to mention that next month for February, we're doing an exclusive organic modeling tutorial over on our Patreon, as well as a full game asset tutorial. A lot of people have requested this, but most of these tutorials are too long for YouTube. So in February, make sure you guys sign up for Patreon. We have two really awesome tutorials coming, and a lot of the demanded ones like game assets and organic modeling, so take a look out for that. Okay, let's get started. So a lot of people, when they start using these organic workflows, are going to have to get used to using quads. I say all the time, quads are necessary in certain situations, and this is one of them. If you don't use quads with subsurf, you're going to have a bad day, and it's just not going to turn out very well. So we're going to come in here and start with the plane, right? And I'm going to move the plane over 1 unit, so just grab it and hold control. And just right off the bat, I'm going to add a mirror modifier. You can add a mirror modifier and mirror it manually, but I'm just going to use the hops tool. So I'll just mirror it over the 3D cursor like that. So Alt X, and then you go to hops mirror and you mirror it over the cursor. You can use a regular mirror if you're not using add-ons, but it's the same thing. Okay, so next thing we want to do is take just one of the edges of this plane and extrude it. I'm going to extrude it over, I guess 2 units is fine. Shift R a few times to repeat it, kind of like this. And then we can kind of come in here, let's do one more, Shift R, and we can kind of come in here and select one of these edges and grab it on the Z-axis, and if we press the O key, we can turn on proportional editing. We have to do that beforehand. There we go. Then we're just going to kind of scroll out and get a nice looking form. Kind of imagine this is like, I don't know, an airplane, maybe like a truck or something, and kind of get that general form going. So I want that. Now I also want to kind of pull these guys in a bit. Proportional editing is your friend here. So we'll kind of pull that down, pull this area back here up. Gonna get a nice form. We're gonna grab this vertex on the x-axis and just kind of let proportional editing do some of the work for us, and then do the same thing back here like that. I'm not gonna do like a full-on model or anything, just a pretty quick sketch so that way I can show the fundamentals. If you want a full tutorial, I'll link Reuse tutorial in the description. He made a good one recently. But anyways, what we're going to do is take this area and maybe just kind of fatten it a bit. I'm just kind of playing with shapes here, and that's usually what I do for these types of models. And right off the bat, we can shade it smooth and Control 3 to run a subsurf here. So we have that. Now what I'm going to do is take these edges here, hop into the front view, and just kind of extrude these down a bit. Nothing crazy, so now we kind of have a nice little organic shape we can play with. We could take this area up here and just kind of play with that a bit. We're going to also need to pull that in, and maybe up here we could kind of give it a nice little hump on the back. And what else? Pull this down a little bit. Just getting a nice little form going here. Pull this vertex down. Let's turn off proportional editing for that one and just kind of pull that one down. There we go. And really what we're doing is making a nice little organic shape here. And like I said, you need to make sure you use quads, because if you don't, for example, if I don't know, merge this one over here, it's just going to get pinchy in some of the corners. In this case, it was, not really a big deal. But if I were to run like crazy sorts of geo in here, you're just going to get really bad pinching, and it's going to get even worse in general. So be careful of that. So you can get away with n-gons and triangles here and there, but in general you want to keep this whole thing full of quads so that way it subdivides properly. So what I'm going to do is take this area, and let's do 3 of these. Take this area and kind of pull that out. We'll take this vertex, move it over, and move it up. Can play with some more proportional editing if we wanted to. It's a bit too much right there. All sorts of different ideas. This is kind of cool. It's like a whale or something. So what we could do is maybe, oops, that's the mirror, and here's the subsurf. By the way, mirror and subsurf, you don't want to interchange those because then it's going to subsurf in, I'm sorry, it's going to, yeah, I was right. It's going to first subsurf and then mirror, and you're going to get this weird issue over here, and you don't want that. So make sure you do the mirror first and then subsurf. Okay, so we have that. We can maybe, I reckon we pull these areas up a bit, but need to do this without hurting the look of the mesh here, so we'll do that. And then maybe what we could do is kind of extrude that down and move it over. I don't know. Simple idea. Alright, so very basic form here, and you kind of get the gist now, and that's why I wanted to show you. You can do this for any form. You can make a more complex object, make a more crazy organic one. You could like really get in here and do some crazy shapes if you wanted to. And I don't know, I'm not going to do that, but you see my point. You could do all sorts of things with subsurf. I think this is a good base layout for the video. So what I'm going to do is before we run any booleans in here and do the more hard surface design aspects, we have to patch this up. Reason being is because if we were to try to run a boolean in here right now, we'll just do an n-gon cut and run a slice. You're going to see that if we try to bevel it, nothing's going to happen because this is not a manifold object. Manifold simply means watertight, so you can kind of imagine if you want to make this thing watertight, we need to close it up. So to close it up is really easy. What we're going to do is take the front here, press the F key. Oh, by the way, I'm totally going to forget, so let me mention it now. If I press the F key, it's going to fill this in, and it might not do that by default for you. You need to go into the Edit Preferences panel and turn on the F2 add-on. I'll just show you real quick. You go to Preferences, you go to Add-ons, and you type in F2. Turn that on, otherwise you won't be able to do that trick where you can press the F key right here. So yeah, that's what we want to do. You might want to turn off proportional editing because it's just going to get annoying. And now what we can do is simply grab this on the x-axis in your mirror modifier, as long as you have the clipping option turned on, should allow you to merge it. If you don't, you can kind of like go over it, which doesn't really matter, but just to keep the positioning clean, turn on clipping and just kind of close that up. So we have that, and to patch it up is the same exact process for the rest of the mesh. Now let me turn off face orientation. That is one of my default settings, but it gets annoying sometimes. So same idea, we're going to go in here and simply start filling these in. Make sure that proportional editing is turned off. It's really annoying. And we'll just kind of repeat the process and grab all these guys and move them over. Looking pretty good. Only issue is notice that as we start patching this up, we kind of lose that nice, I don't know, you see how it's just kind of, it looks more like a hard edge down here, which I usually want. We can fix that, I'll show you how, but just bear with me. We're going to do this for now, even though it might not look the cleanest, because it looks more organic, and sometimes a more hard surface look looks nicer. So just for now, fill these in. We'll do one more here, patch that up, a few more back here as well. We have this vert, so we'll take that. Oh geez, this one's a bit messy. What we're gonna have to do is start from the back, I think. We'll fill that one in, and what we can do is fill this in, fill that in, close that up. And now we should have a bit more room to patch up the wing. Actually, we kind of have like a triangle going on right here. We'll take care of that in a second. For now, let me just really work on getting this one filled. So F key here, F key here. There we go. Now we should have like a more decent patch, I guess. We're going to fill that in, fill this one, fill this one, and then fill this one. And it looks like some of these automatically started merging. Now this one, we're going to have to merge at the last, like that. And now we have a completely manifold object. Issue here though, it looks a lot worse because the bottom is way more rounded when we might want to have more of a hard edge look to it. So once again, let me just show you, if we have no faces here on the bottom, looks pretty clean, right? But when we add them, it looks more organic, which you may or may not like. I personally don't like that effect, but we can't run booleans without it because we need to have the object completely manifold. I'll show you how to easily fix that though once you do make it manifold. What we do is use something called a crease. Now you may have seen people come in here and use something like a proximity loop to tighten things up. And that gets the job done. The issue here is a few things. One, the geo in here, if we turn off our optimal display, is going to be a bit more congested because we have a proximity loop down here kind of holding the edge together. Number two, it adds more geometry to the mesh whenever you add in more loop cuts into it. So if you want to have a pure and true hard edge, you can use a crease for this, and it won't add any extra geo or make it more dense on the bottom. Let me show you what I mean. So let me remove that, and what we're going to do is select all the edges. Make sure you're not selecting the faces, but only the edges here. So we'll go into edge mode and control click all the way around. We're just going to grab the entire bottom portion here. What we're going to do is press Shift E, pull this crease all the way in, like that. And the shading is going to be a bit nasty, and some of these other areas here might need a good creasing as well. We'll have to kind of play with that in a minute. Sometimes creasing can get a bit messy, so you have to be careful. I don't think I'll mess with these, but anyways, we need to fix the shading first. So go into your auto smooth, turn that on, and now you can see we're basically at the same exact position we were before. If our faces were deleted, it looks exactly the same, just like that. So creases are great if you want to have that hard surface look to it, but without having to have non-manifold geometry. Okay, so we'll take care of that in a second. The creases are going to cause some problems down here, which we do need to assess. So what we're going to have to do is just kind of play with this a bit. So sometimes you can do little creasing tricks, but oftentimes it doesn't want to work very well. So we're going to try to come in here and crease this area up. That's actually a terrible idea. What we could do though, the issue here is we have a pole. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we have 6 verts going into that, which is going to be problematic. I would recommend trying to avoid poles like the plague, because then you just get annoying issues. But in this case, since the bottom was creased, you're not going to really get like a big pinching effect, except for right here. You could play with the auto smooth angle and tweak that a bit. That's probably what we're going to do to make it a bit more seamless, I guess. To kind of catch that. We're also going to add in a loop cut right there to kind of make it transition a bit nicer. We'll drop that, and that's not too bad. Alright, so we have that. We could also try, well, I don't think we need to crease anything else. The top here, you could do the same thing. I'm not going to crease the top because I like that organic look to it, but if you wanted to, you could also crease the top and get yourself an interesting type of effect. Make sure you don't get the middle though. Let me fix that. So make sure the middle where the mirror is not creased, and then we have pretty cool organic look, but I do not want that effect, so let me undo that. I just want to show you that you can play with creases and figure out the type of design you're going for. So this is generally what we want. Now that we've done the organic part with subsurf, let me show you how you can do the same exact modeling strategies I've taught in most of my videos here on YouTube and implement it into an organic mesh like this. Okay, so let me kind of start from step one. So we ran a subsurf. Subsurf is nothing but a way to increase the density of your object and also smooth it out very nicely. That is all the subsurf is doing here. If we go into wireframe, all it has done is made the mesh a lot more dense. This mesh is the same as this mesh, only difference being the subsurf modifier has smoothed it out and increased the mesh density. If I were to hand you this object and say, make this a hard surface mesh, you'd probably laugh at me and say, Josh, that's easy, I just start running booleans and slices in it. But the moment you see an organic mesh, people tend to freak out. It's the same thing. If we just consider the topology and manage it carefully, we can do the same exact Boolean cuts that we usually do in our main hard surface meshes. Now there's a trade-off here. So whenever you run Boolean cuts, remember when you run a bevel on those Booleans, you can get overlaps really easily. If the geometry is super dense, you're going to get artifacts almost immediately. But if the mesh is more low poly, you won't run into overlaps as quickly. So it's kind of a game of cat and mouse, figuring out how dense you want the object to be, in turn making it smoother, or how low poly you want it to be, in turn making it a lot more or a lot less clean, but also making it easier to use your Boolean methods. I tend to meet somewhere in the middle because, let's be honest, the difference between a level of 3 and a level of 4 is close to nothing, and it's just not worth going to 4 subdivision levels. So I'm going to leave it at 3. And what we're going to do now is, first of all, actually not, we'll do that in a second. Let's go ahead and run some Booleans. So what I'll do is come in here with an n-gon cutter and make like a little hatch here in the front. We'll press the X key, and what I'm going to do is also make sure my mirror is applied. So we'll apply that and apply that because the mirror is going to make a an issue with the manifolding, so just apply those. And just like that, it's the same exact type of methods. You just run a Boolean, and all you have to do now is consider the topology. So for example, now when we run a bevel, for example, let me rotate this just a bit. There we go. When we run a bevel on here, you're going to see the bevel works fine, but we are going to get artifacts. We're going to get artifacts pretty quickly, so you just got to make sure you get in there and clean those up. And of course, the best way to clean up artifacts is to either reposition your cutter so that way it's not hitting overlaps on the geo as quickly, or what you could do, which is way easier, come in here, apply your Boolean, and we need to apply the subsurf first and then the Boolean, and then you just kind of get in here and clean up whatever you need to clean up. Really easy. I'd wait till the last few steps to do that though, so that way you're not going destructive so soon. So let me undo that. Same for the main mesh. You can see we have a nice bevel here on the bottom getting picked up where we added the crease. So here's the before, here's the after. We have a really nice bevel going on, and we can make that a bit bigger. In turn, going to cause some issues up here. But at this point, you should know how to clean up your artifacts. You just get in there, apply the Boolean, and move around and join geo together. Really easy stuff. So yeah, you can just come in here and be like a Boolean monster. Just make whatever you want. Maybe come in, do something like this. We'll bevel it and then run a slice, and then we have like a little piece up there. You can play with the subsurf a bit more in the back if you wanted to, you know, extrude back or maybe inset, do whatever you want. On the front though, what I think I'll do is inset this just a bit. We're gonna have to do the same thing to this piece though. Inset it just a bit to kind of have like a nose or something like that. Pretty cool. And you can really get in here and just play with all the geo, because once the subsurf is done, the subsurf is done. It's important though that the subsurf remains at the top of the stack, because the moment your subsurf runs after a Boolean, you're going to get some crazy distortions. Not in this one, but maybe on this one it'll be worse. It's just going to go crazy, and you don't want that. So make sure the subsurf is at the top of the stack, because that means the subsurf is running well before any Booleans are running. Maybe we'll do one more detail in here, then I'll let you go on your own. We'll do like something like this. Pull that over and then mirror. And there we go. Caused some problems right there. Interesting. I think it was the mirror. Mirror is kind of acting up, but we could just mirror the actual cutter instead and call it a day. Let's see, what is the issue? Let me reposition these. There we go. But yeah guys, that's how you use organic meshes with Booleans and use subsurf to make all sorts of cool forms. A lot of people requested this type of tutorial, and hopefully you now see it's not really that scary. It's really simple. You just have to know how to manage your modifier stack and manage your subsurf. So as a recap, 1, run a subsurf full of quads so that way it deforms nicely. 2, run your Booleans, and 3, be happy that you know how to do it now. So that's about it guys. Thanks so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one. I don't usually ask, but a lot of people wanted this tutorial, so it'll let me know if you want more tutorials like this. By the way, guys, keep a lookout. Next week we have a huge release coming. I won't give too many details now, but here's a sneak peek. You guys are going to love this one. So keep a lookout. Hoping around Friday we'll have it out, and we'll definitely let you know. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.